What if, as a man, all of your relationships ran smoothly and you were able to get what you want when you want it? One of the best ways for us to make that happen is to improve our communication skills and how we handle conflict. And that's what we're going to look at today as we look at 5 power tips to improve your skills and resolve conflict. If you're ready to learn, let's dive in. All right, so here we go. 5 ways that we can learn how to improve our communication skills and resolve conflict as a man. Number 1, we need to learn how to listen. How many times we've heard this said before, especially about men, is that we have a challenging time learning how to actually listen when it comes to our communication skills. So as a man, one of the things that we have to really get honed in and we really have to get focused on is, how do I learn how to become a man who is an active listener? Meaning that I'm not just listening to the conversation, just waiting for the time for me to be able to jump in and say what I think or the thoughts that I have, but really being able to learn how to listen to what the other person is saying and comprehend what they're saying. Many times when we respond in a way or we try and communicate what it is that we want, we're basing it off of the fact that we haven't really listened to what the other person is saying to us. And so when we're not learning how to listen, we're not able to really respond the proper way and really communicate in a way that can help get things done and resolve a lot of conflict. Number 2, focus on I rather than you. What do I mean by this? When we're in the midst of a conflict, a lot of times we want to say that it's you that did this, or you are acting like this, or you're behaving in such a way, or you said this. We're always outwardly focused a lot of times when we're in the middle of a conflict at what the other person had done wrong. As a man, part of our responsibility is to say, you know what? Maybe I'm in the middle of this conflict with this other individual, but it could be that we're in the middle of this conflict because of things that I did. Give you a perfect example. Me and my wife, we had gotten to just a conversational little tiff the other day, and we're talking and we're trying to resolve this conflict. And in that moment, I realized, hey, look, I was the one that was saying that she was the one that was doing this, and you were acting like that. Rather than saying, you know what? I responded in a way that was incorrect, and I probably should have responded in a different way. And so I started focusing on myself and the things that I could control in the middle of that conflict. Instead of looking on the outside and saying or pointing out what other people were doing, I had to take responsibility and say, hey, let me look at the things that I can control, the words that I'm saying, how I'm listening in the middle of this conversation, so that I can do a better job in responding and communicating in a way that's going to help me resolve this. Number 3, this is a huge one. Don't make assumptions. We all heard the saying that when you assume, you're making an ass out of you and me. Assumptions. I try not to assume what other people are thinking and how they're feeling about a situation, because when I assume, a lot of times I get those assumptions wrong. What I think might be an issue or what I think might be bothering somebody turns out to be something completely different than what it is. And so what I like to do is I like to ask the direct questions. Yes, a lot of times it comes off very direct, but I would rather be in a position as a man where I know and I understand what it is that the other person is thinking and what it is that the other person is feeling. And if I assume what they're feeling and what they're thinking, or assume what this outcome might be, I put both of us in a bad position to where this conflict could go in a completely different direction because I misunderstood where that other person was coming from. So don't make assumptions. Now, if you're getting value from this, do me a favor and drop a like down below. Let me know in the comments what ways have helped you in your communication skills and what have you used to improve how you resolve conflict. Number 4, stay calm and composed. As men, one of the things that we learn growing up at a young age is that we need to use aggression in order to get what we need and what we desire out of a relationship. And I'm learning recently, especially as I'm getting older, that a lot of times in order for me to really handle a conflict or for me to find a resolution to a conflict, it requires me to be calm. It requires requires me to be composed rather than being flustered and being aggravated or using my aggression in order to get my way. When I'm calm and focused, I can think clearer, I can speak clearer, I can listen clearer, I can understand what the other person is saying a lot clearer, because instead of me being all over the place and just saying whatever is the first thing coming to my mind, I can actually process how I want to communicate with this other person, and it helps me to accomplish a lot of things. And then also too, thinking about it like this, we're able to, as men, be calm and focused. It helps to keep everybody else in the conversation calm and focused as well too, or calm and composed rather. It helps to keep everybody else in that conversation in that same kind of mode, in that same kind of environment of something that's more calm and composed. Number 5, look to understand rather than being understood. We have to learn how to understand the people that we're communicating with rather than us always needing to think that we're going to be understood. My whole motive, I think about whenever I'm in a conversation or I'm trying to communicate what I need or I'm trying to resolve a conflict, is I'm really trying to understand and put myself in the shoes of that other person to really find out why they're responding to me the way that they're responding to me, to really find out how can I handle this in a better way? How can I communicate in a better way that's going to be more helpful instead of really inciting or instead of really just causing my response to be something that makes this conversation worse. So look to be the person that understands rather than always having to be the person that you want everybody else to understand you. Understand those around you. And when you begin to start putting yourself as a man in other people's shoes, you can begin to start understanding why they respond to certain ways. And you can begin to understand how to help communicate and respond in a better way. Before I sign off, I've been looking at discovering the challenges on how to help men find their path to living in their purpose, living in their power, and living in their God-given position. Down below, there's a link where you can book a free Zoom call to really drill down and identify some of those challenges and get you back on track. So if you're a man out there and this is something that you feel like you need in your life, drop down below, man, and set up a call, and let's see how we can help each other to become better men. Until next time, this has been Nick with the Life Recreated channel. Men, keep learning, keep healing, and keep growing. Peace.